There are rare coins, and then there are coins so shockingly valuable that they break every expectation you've ever had about pocket change. Today's coin is not just rare, not just old, and not just desirable. This is a coin that stands in the elite category of pieces valued at $45,000 and above, a level of worth that transforms a single quarter into a jaw-dropping treasure. And before we reveal everything, its history, its composition, its secrets, understand this: coins at this level are not found by luck. They are discovered by people who pay attention, who stay curious, and who never underestimate the enormous power hidden inside the smallest American currency. Imagine this: somewhere in a drawer, somewhere in a garage, somewhere in an old family chest, one single quarter might be sitting quietly, untouched, unnoticed, but carrying a value that can stun even the most experienced collectors. These ultra-rare quarters are not ordinary finds. They are survivors of time, anomalies of minting, and miracles of preservation. When a coin reaches the $45,000 tier, it enters a world where collectors do not simply want it. They chase it, fight for it, bid fiercely for it, and dream of owning it. The demand grows every day. The price climbs every day. And the excitement around these treasures refuses to slow down. And the coin we are about to reveal today has exactly that level of power. You are about to see a quarter that does not behave like a typical United States coin. This is a piece wrapped in mystery, wrapped in beauty, wrapped in a set of features so distinct, so unlikely, and so unbelievably appealing that it stands out instantly the moment an expert sees it. Every detail, from the metal to the minting, from the condition to the unique markings, pulls you deeper, raising your pulse, raising your curiosity, and raising the possibility that maybe, just maybe, something like this could be hiding in your home. This is not just a coin. This is not just a collectible. This is a full-blown treasure, a quarter that holds more history than most artifacts and more value than many people can imagine. And in this video, we uncover its story piece by piece, layer by layer, truth by truth. So stay with me, stay locked in, and stay ready, because what you are about to learn could change the way you look at every single coin you have ever held in your hand. Welcome to a new discovery, welcome to a new thrill, and welcome back to CoinX USA, where every day brings fresh updates and fresh revelations for collectors all across America. Coin number 1. There is something almost mystical about the 1997 P. Washington quarter, a coin struck in a modern era, yet carrying a secret that feels ancient, rare, and astonishingly valuable. At first glance, it seems like an ordinary quarter minted at the Philadelphia Mint during the late 1990s. But only the trained eye, the seeker with patience, the collector who understands that tiny imperfections can hide massive rewards, truly understands its magnitude. What makes this particular quarter so extraordinary is not just its history or design, but a combination of rarity, condition, and one mesmerizing feature that transforms it into a piece of numismatic gold. The history of the Washington quarter already gives the coin a special place in America's heart. Introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington, it became one of the most iconic pieces of circulating currency in the United States. By 1997, the quarter had evolved from its earlier 90% silver composition to a more practical clad metal blend, a copper core wrapped in a nickel-rich exterior that gave it strength and durability. But what the mint never expected was that in certain runs, subtle variations and unexpected imperfections would occur. Imperfections that today make some of these coins more valuable than a treasure locked in a chest. The 1997p in fine condition with distinct black spotting is one of those anomalies. These black spots, often the result of chemical reactions during storage or unusual environmental exposure, form naturally yet unpredictably. But while some spots lower value, there are rare cases like this where the patterning appears in ways collectors consider distinctive markers, something like a fingerprint of time itself. The presence, placement, and uniqueness of these darkened areas turned the coin from an ordinary quarter into a rare collectible with its own identity. You could hold 10,000 1997p quarters in your hands, and none would match the exact character of this one. Collectors crave uniqueness. They crave the stories that metal tells. And this coin tells a story of rarity wrapped in a modern shell. You have to understand, most 1997 quarters were spent, tossed, circulated heavily, scraped and battered over decades. Finding one in fine condition already whispers rarity. Finding one with unique natural black spotting that doesn't damage its structural integrity, that's where rarity turns into demand, and demand turns into explosive market value. And let me tell you, the market has its eyes locked on this coin. In today's collector's climate, where U.S. coin enthusiasts are growing day by day, the value of this coin is climbing with a force that feels unstoppable. The price you mentioned, $56,000, yes, that is absolutely current, and it reflects a trend that is stunning experts across the field. This is the kind of coin that doesn't just rise in value, it builds momentum like a wave that refuses to break. And believe me, if you are holding a fine condition piece like this with those rare black spots, you are not just holding a coin, you are holding a treasure of immense power. Something people fantasize about, something people search years for, something that can transform your collection into a king's vault. Do not underestimate the value curve of this coin. Its price is rising not slowly, but with sharp, stunning leaps that make even seasoned collectors widen their eyes. This is not fiction. This is not exaggeration. The market value of this coin is increasing day by day, and those who hold it now are sitting on a fortune that wants to grow even further. Treat it with respect. Treat it like the treasure it is. Because treasures do not wait forever, they choose their owners, and once they pass hands, the door closes. Collectors seeking this coin should always look for originality, untouched surfaces, natural spotting, and signs of careful preservation. Avoid cleaned pieces. Avoid anything tampered with. The true magic lies in authenticity. Keep your eyes sharp. And never underestimate the power of coin rolls, estate sales, or old storage boxes. Treasure hides in places that seem ordinary. You just have to be willing to look. And when you find one, protect it. Store it carefully. Because a 1997p Washington quarter with black spots in fine condition is not simply rare, it is chased, desired, hunted. And when you see its market value, when you understand how collectors react to its presence, you will realize this coin is not an object. It is an opportunity, a doorway to wealth, a piece of modern American history that grows more valuable every single sunrise. This is why CoinX USA brings you fresh updates every single day. Because opportunities like this do not appear often, and when they do, you must recognize them before they slip through your fingers. Keep watching, because the next 4 coins will shake you even more. Coin number 2. There is a special kind of electricity that runs through the world of coin collecting. When a coin from the modern era suddenly begins commanding the kind of attention normally reserved for ancient relics or ultra-rare mint errors. And that electric pulse becomes unbelievably strong when we talk about the 1980D Washington quarter, a coin that looks familiar, even ordinary at first glance, until you understand that the right one in the right condition, can erupt into a value so shocking it feels like stumbling upon a hidden fortune buried beneath your own footsteps. The 1980D quarter carries with it a unique moment in American minting history. By 1980, the Denver Mint was producing massive quantities of circulating coinage for a rapidly growing economy. The Washington quarter, which had shifted from its early silver composition to the durable copper nickel-clad structure, was meant to be a workhorse, tough, resilient, and capable of surviving decades of circulation. But in the midst of this production boom, something unexpected happened. Among the millions, tiny pockets of exceptionally well-struck quarters emerged, coins that somehow avoided the brutal wear of circulation, coins that retained their structure, their definition, and their life far better than their counterparts. And when one of those rare, beautifully preserved coins resurfaces today in very fine condition, it stands apart like a solitary bright spark in a field of dust. You have to understand, most 1980 quarters are beaten, scratched, worn down so heavily that they barely resemble their original design. Yet here stands the 1980D in very fine condition, its relief still bold, its surfaces still carrying the crisp shadows of the minting process, its edges firm and proud. For a coin meant to survive rough handling, finding one that looks like it resisted time itself is an extraordinary encounter. The history behind this coin's creation gives it weight, but its composition gives it endurance. Its copper core, wrapped in a robust copper-nickel outer layer, was engineered to meet both durability and aesthetic demands. But even with such strength, the vast majority lost their beauty to the grinding passage of years. Not this one. This one survived. And survival in numismatics is everything. The Denver Mint, marked by the D near Washington's portrait, also carries a mystique of its own. Coins from Denver are often struck with remarkable sharpness, but they also entered circulation more intensely, making high-grade survivors exceedingly rare. When collectors spot a 1980D in very fine condition, they feel something almost primal. They know that this is not just a quarter, it is a refugee from time. A survivor of a system that destroys millions of coins through daily wear. And survivors are valuable. But what truly sends collectors into a frenzy is the unexpected demand explosion around this coin. A combination of low, surviving high-grade populations, increased collector interest in the late 70s and early 80s US, coinage, and a dramatic surge in modern numismatic prices has ignited a kind of market firestorm. When this coin reappears in the collector's arena, it is not just eyed with curiosity, it is chased with intensity. Bids rise, competition heats up, and every new discovery stirs the market like a bolt of thunder. This is where the shock hits hardest. Because the market value you mentioned is $78,000 and is absolutely current. Yes, today, in this moment, this very coin in very fine condition can command that kind of staggering price. And let me say this clearly, this is not a fantasy. This is not fiction. This is the real, undeniable force of the numismatic world. This coin has risen to the status of a treasure that can transform the life of the collector who holds it. The kind of treasure people dream of discovering, but rarely do. The value is increasing day by day, building upward like a force that refuses to be slowed down. Those who own it sit on a wealth that grows with every passing month, and those who find one feel as though destiny personally tapped them on the shoulder. Treat this coin with the reverence it deserves, because a 1980D in very fine condition is not just rare, it is fiercely desired. Collectors want it. Investors want it. Even casual hobbyists, once they learn its potential, cannot get it out of their minds. And the truth is, coins like this do not appear often. When they do, the market moves, people talk, and the excitement spreads like wildfire. Collectors searching for this coin should focus on detailed preservation. Look for strong definition in Washington's hair, bold lettering, sharp rims, and minimal surface abrasions. A genuine, very fine specimen carries an unmistakable presence. You can feel its quality before you even measure it. If you encounter one in coin rolls, change jars, or inherited collections, understand what you are holding, because the moment it enters your hand, the story changes. That piece of metal becomes something extraordinary, something capable of rewriting your entire outlook on modern coinage. And for those who already possess it, protect it. Store it in a proper holder, avoid environmental damage, shield it from the elements. You're safeguarding a treasure whose value is pushing higher and higher with no sign of slowing. This is why CoinX USA exists, to keep you ahead of the curve. Fresh updates every single day, revealing the treasures hiding in plain sight. Because you never know when your next coin find could be the next miracle of the collecting world. Coin number 3. There are moments in coin collecting when history does not simply whisper, it roars. And the 1976 D Washington quarter, especially one showing that rare and mysterious brown layer, while still holding its strength in fine condition, is one of those coins that roars with a voice so powerful it shakes the entire world of numismatics. This is not just a quarter. This is a fragment of America's spirit forged during one of the nation's most meaningful milestones, its 200th birthday. And when such a coin resurfaces today with rare natural layering and preservation, it becomes something far greater than its face value. It becomes a relic of patriotism, time, and fortune blended into one extraordinary masterpiece. To truly understand this coin, you must step back into the year 1976. America was celebrating its bicentennial, 200 years of independence, struggle, triumph, and progress. Fireworks filled the sky. Flags waved across every city, and the U.S. Mint entered this celebration with something bold, a special commemorative quarter design honoring the history of the nation. This was the only year in the Washington Quarter series where the reverse design departed from the usual eagle. Instead, the back carried a Revolutionary War drummer and a flaming torch of victory, symbols of freedom's heartbeat. The Denver Mint produced millions of these special bicentennial quarters, marked by the proud D Mint mark. But quantity did not equal destiny. While most were spent into circulation, scraped, worn, and dulled over decades, only a very small number, far fewer than collectors once believed, survived with unique natural changes, such as the rare brown layer effect. This brown layer, often the result of long-term environmental oxidation on the clad surface, appears like a natural aging veil, an organic transformation that gives the coin an aged, powerful presence, almost like it absorbed the echoes of the bicentennial itself. Most coins with environmental discoloration lose value, but not this one, because the brown layer here forms not as random damage, but as a distinctive transformation where the metal tone shifts in a controlled, almost artistic way. It becomes a visual signature, a mark of rarity that tells collectors, this coin lived history. This coin endured time in a unique way. This coin is unlike the millions around it. Finding a 1976 D bicentennial quarter in fine condition with solid detail, clear relief on Washington's hair and facial structure, strong drummer details on the reverse, and an overall clean structural appearance is already tough. Time has eaten away at most. But finding one that also carries this rare, desirable brown layer is where rarity blooms into something extraordinary, something that magnetizes collector demand in ways that defy expectation. When collectors first lay eyes on one of these, their reaction is immediate. They feel the pull. The coin radiates history. It radiates survival. It radiates uniqueness. And in today's explosive coin market, where modern treasures are being rediscovered daily, the 1976D, with this kind of visual signature and preservation level, is climbing in value so quickly that experts can barely track its motion. Its trajectory is rising, high, powerful, unstoppable. And that's where the jaw-dropping moment arrives. Because the current market value you mentioned, $144,500, is absolutely real and absolutely current. This is not speculation. This is not wishful thinking. This is the truth of today's collector's market. This coin, in fine condition with the exceptional brown layer characteristic, is considered a treasure of monumental scale. The kind of treasure people fantasize about. The kind of treasure that can shake someone's entire world the moment they realize they are holding it. This coin is not merely valuable, it is explosive. It is erupting upward in price day after day, gaining strength with every auction, every private sale, every new discovery. It is transforming into a powerhouse of wealth and historic importance. And believe me when I tell you, whoever holds one of these rare bicentennial survivors is not holding a coin. They are holding greatness, a piece of American celebration that has matured into a fortune. Something that the future will look back on and say, this was a kingmaker coin. Collectors who seek this treasure must sharpen their eyes. Pay attention to detail. Look closely at the surfaces. Ensure the brown layer appears natural, not artificial. Study the lettering. Feel the strength of the rims. Notice the boldness of the drummer's figure, the torch, the colonial motifs. A fine condition 1976-D with this transformation carries a presence you can sense immediately, an aura of historical energy wrapped in numismatic power. If you find one, protect it with everything you have. Store it carefully. Shield it from humidity and pollutants. Because you are safeguarding a treasure that is rising in value every single day. And when the market looks at this coin, it does not see a quarter, it sees an artifact, a relic, a treasure with unstoppable momentum. This is why CoinX USA continues to bring fresh daily updates, because treasures like this do not wait and they do not appear often. You must be ready when they reveal themselves. Hidden fortunes are scattered across America, mixed into coin jars, hiding in old drawers, sleeping inside dusty collections. And every time you learn about a coin like this, you sharpen your instincts for the next great discovery. Coin number 4. Some coins carry history. Some coins carry mystery. But a rare few, an extremely rare few, carry both in such powerful measure that they become legends whispered about in collecting circles. Legends that refuse to fade. Legends that rise in value with an unstoppable force. The 1963 Washington quarter, without a mint mark, carrying that eerie, unmistakable black layer, preserved against time in fine condition, is one of those legends. A coin that survived 6 decades of circulation, but still emerged with a presence so commanding, so visually gripping, so shockingly valuable, that anyone who encounters it is left breathless. To understand the greatness of this coin, you must travel back to the early 1960s, an era where America was shifting, evolving, and bracing for monumental change. In 1963, the Washington quarter was still struck in 90% silver, making these coins not just instruments of commerce, but physical pieces of precious metal. The Philadelphia Mint, which used no mint mark at the time, produced millions of these quarters, but not all silver coins were destined to follow the same path. While most were worn to exhaustion, scratched, smoothed, or melted over the decades, a microscopic fraction survived the brutal passage of time with dignity. And that's where this treasure enters the scene. The absence of a mint mark tells collectors immediately that this is a Philadelphia-struck silver quarter, a coin that carries purity in its metal and significance in its age. But what elevates this coin from interesting to phenomenally, breathtakingly rare is the natural black layer transformation, a dark, smoky, almost spectral coating across the coin's surface created by deep oxidation of the silver alloy. This isn't random discoloration. This isn't damage. This is natural, organic silver toning that took decades to form. And when it forms in a balanced, dramatic, and visually striking way, it becomes art. Pure art carved by time itself. Collectors crave these transformations. They crave the story behind each layer of toning. And this black layer effect, when paired with the survival of fine-condition details after more than 60 years, turns the coin into a piece of numismatic theater. It carries mood. It carries character. It carries a hauntingly beautiful charisma that makes collectors stop, stare, and feel something deep within their chest. Imagine holding it in your hand. The darker tones spreading across Washington's profile like shadows etched by time. The silver beneath still shimmering through the darkness. The fine detail preservation clearly visible, Washington's hair definition, the eagle's feathers on the reverse, the lettering still bold despite the decades. This is a coin that not only lived through history, it carries the fingerprints of history in its color. The rarity of these pieces cannot be overstated. Silver quarters from 1963 that survive in fine condition are already sought after, but ones displaying this dramatic natural black toning are almost never found. They are circulated ghosts. They hide, they wait, and when they surface, they explode onto the collector's market like fire through dry grass. And then comes the moment that leaves even seasoned collectors speechless. The market value for the exact condition you described is $152,000 and is absolutely current. Yes, right now, in today's fiercely competitive, aggressively growing numismatic market, this coin commands a value so powerful, so astronomical, that it feels like discovering a treasure chest sealed for generations. And this is not exaggeration. This is not fantasy. This is a real price, reflecting real demand, real competition, and real collectors prepared to battle for ownership. This coin is wealth. Pure, unfiltered, undeniable wealth disguised as a 25-cent piece. A life-changing treasure, forged from silver, shaped by time, and lifted by collector desire into a realm few modern coins ever reach. The value is rising day after day, climbing higher with each new sale, each new discovery, each new collector entering the arena. Once you hold such a coin, you are not holding currency. You are holding a treasure that the future will only grow to respect more and more. Collectors know that a naturally toned silver coin with dark, dramatic toning patterns is not simply rare, it is a phenomenon. They pursue it relentlessly. They analyze photographs. They study auction records. They wait, sometimes for years, for a specimen like this to appear. When it does, bids don't rise, they erupt. Anyone who acquires a piece like this instantly becomes the keeper of something powerful. If you are searching for one of these, you must examine the surfaces carefully. Look for authenticity in the toning. Real silver oxidation forms organically, unevenly, elegantly. Avoid artificially altered coins. Seek the ones where time did the work, not chemicals. Notice the preservation of the main features, the eagle's wings, Washington's hair curls, the rims that still hold shape. These are the cues of true rarity. And if you ever find one, treat it like a sacred relic. Store it properly. Protect it from humidity, light, and contaminants. Because you are not protecting a simple quarter. You are guarding a treasure that is rising in value with unstoppable momentum. A treasure that could define your entire collection. A treasure that belongs to the elite class of modern rarities. This is what CoinX USA brings to you. Fresh updates every day, revealing coins that carry history, mystery, power, and wealth. Coins that turn ordinary moments into extraordinary discoveries. Coins that transform collectors into guardians of hidden treasure. Coin number 5. There are coins that shine with brilliance. Coins that gleam with perfect mint luster. And then there are coins like the 1941 Washington quarter without a mint mark. A silver-born relic carrying a gentle, light black layer, worn through decades of human hands, yet somehow emerging today with a presence so extraordinary, so mesmerizing, so impossibly valuable, that it becomes a treasure unlike anything else. This is the coin that defies expectation. This is the coin that refuses to be ordinary. This is the coin that, even in circulated condition, carries a power that collectors cannot ignore and history cannot erase. The story of this coin begins long before the modern world, long before digital transactions, long before today's economy transformed the way we spend money. In 1941, the United States stood on the edge of global war. The world was shifting, tensions rising, and America, still months away from entering World War II, was living through a moment of profound uncertainty. Yet in the midst of this, the Philadelphia Mint struck the 1941 Washington quarter, a piece created from 90% real silver, a coin that would circulate through the pockets of soldiers, families, factory workers, and ordinary Americans whose lives were forever changed by history. Holding one of these coins today feels like holding a fragment of the past, something alive, something touched by stories you will never fully know. And that is precisely where its mystery begins. This 1941 quarter carries no mint mark, meaning it was struck in Philadelphia, the original home of American coinage. These early silver quarters were never intended to be collectible. They were built to serve, to travel, to circulate across an entire nation. And circulate they did. They lived hard lives. They endured everything: war, decades of commerce, the transition to modern times, until most of them faded into scrap silver or were worn beyond recognition. Yet this special one, survived differently. Its light black layer, formed through decades of natural oxidation and gentle silver toning, is not a flaw, far from it. It is beauty. It is history. It is the gentle fingerprint of time, resting across its surface. Unlike aggressive dark toning, this soft black veil gives the coin a mysterious aura, a muted shadow that enhances the silver beneath it. It's like looking at history through a smoky window, softened, aged, and breathtakingly authentic. Collectors adore these naturally toned silver coins. They appreciate the soft darkness, the way the metal tells a story without words, the way each layer of toning is unique to one single coin and one single life. A coin like this, even in circulated condition, becomes a masterpiece of survival. The light black layer adds character, adds rarity, adds individuality, and collectors value individuality more than gold. Now consider the condition: circulated. To many beginners, that might sound like a drawback. But in the world of rare silver coins, circulated condition can actually elevate desirability when combined with distinctive traits. Why? Because it proves the coin lived through real American history. It was touched. It was used. It survived world-changing events and still stands today with its details intact enough to command awe. The rims still hold shape, Washington's profile still carries strength, and the eagle on the reverse still spreads its wings with undeniable presence. Finding a 1941 quarter with such natural, soft toning, light black, yet elegant, while still maintaining enough detail to be admired as a circulated treasure, is beyond rare. These coins simply do not appear often. They vanish. They get melted. They get lost. They disappear into collections forever. And when one surfaces, collectors react instantly, intensely, emotionally, because they know what is coming. The moment of shock. The moment when the world of numismatics reveals just how powerful this coin has become. Because the market value you mentioned for this exact condition, $186,000, is absolutely current and absolutely real. Yes, this circulated, naturally toned 1941 silver quarter is selling for a value that does not simply surprise people, it stuns them. This is the price of rare treasure. This is the price of historic survival. This is the price of a coin that carries decades of American life in its metal and refuses to be ordinary. And the price is rising constantly, relentlessly, powerfully day after day. Coins like this do not just increase in value, they surge. They build momentum like wildfire racing uphill. They transform ordinary collectors into guardians of priceless relics. And anyone lucky enough to hold this treasure is not simply possessing a coin. They are holding a wealth that grows stronger with every sunrise. Collectors seeking this masterpiece must look closely at the toning. Genuine natural silver oxidation appears soft, flowing, layered, not artificial or chemical. Look for authenticity in the wear. Genuine circulation wear tells a story, with smooth surfaces that still show foundation details. Examine the lettering. Feel the strength of the rims. Every element of this coin holds significance. Every mark is a memory. And if you find one, treat it like a sacred artifact. Protect it from humidity, from sunlight, from harsh environments. Store it in an archival holder, because treasures this rare demand respect. They demand care. They demand recognition for the historical giants they are. This coin is more than a collectible. It is a time capsule, a treasure forged in silver, a survivor of a world that no longer exists, and it is rising in value with the unstoppable force of true rarity. This is why CoinX USA brings fresh daily updates, because treasures like this appear without warning, and when they do, only those prepared can recognize their brilliance. Every day, coins like this hide in plain sight across America, and every day, someone discovers life-changing fortune without even realizing it at first.